Kia ora Star Wars fans, welcome to middle-aged Kiwi man collecting Star Wars figures. In this video, we need to talk about Weequay. So here is Weequay. I have two versions of Weequay. On the left we have the original vintage Weequay, and on the right we have the Power of the Force 2 Weequay. These figures are significant. Why are they significant? This vintage figure is significant because I'm pretty sure this is the first figure in the 3.75 line Star Wars that was able to hold his weapon with two hands, the old two-handed weapon grip. Pretty cool. Even the Power of the Force 2 one, this is the He-Man era of figures. This one's actually not too bad, not too He-Man-y. He looks pretty cool, and he is one of, I think, only two figures in that line that could do the two-handed weapon grip, the other one being the Sand Trooper. I think if you collect Star Wars figures, and particularly if you collect vintage Star Wars figures, which I don't by the way, so this is a little bit weird, but Weequay is one of the most common figures and so is pretty cheap. This one I picked up a couple of weeks ago for less than the retail price of a brand new vintage collection figure. So that basically is because they produced millions of these back in the day. Back in the 1980s, 1983 when Return of the Jedi came out, they produced millions of them. So you can still find really good examples. And I think this one's a pretty good example. I'm not an expert on vintage figures, but this one looks pretty nice to me. Now this is a vintage carded Weequay. And I also picked this up a couple of weeks ago. And again, I'm no expert on vintage. It's got a very yellow bubbled, which I believe is pretty common for Return of the Jedi figures. Cardback's a little bit faded, but look, it's unpunched. It's got a nice back on it. It's a 77 back, so you can see all the other figures there. But why am I showing you this? I am showing you this because a original gangster vintage figure, carded, unpunched, looking really nice, was cheaper for me to acquire than a VC 107 Weequay, the modern vintage collection figure. So about the same time that I bought this, somebody was also selling a vintage collection figure and it cost more than this. And it's kind of crazy when you think about it. It is supply and demand. I think they didn't make enough of the VC 107s. I believe it was near the end of the line and it was online only. But I think it's a crazy situation when an original vintage carded figure is cheaper than its modern counterpart. So here is Weequay again. He's feeling really bad because he's under-articulated compared to everybody else on the skiff, so he knows he's going to get wasted. There's also a missing figure that's never been made, Velkin Talzeri. There's a petition to get him made, but I really would love Hasbro to reissue VC 107 Weequay. I don't think there were enough made. I don't think everybody's got them, especially if you came back into the hobby like I did. And there was recently a poll that Hasbro did where they were getting people to vote for one of 4 figures to reissue, and Weequay was one of them. There was a strong campaign, but the Republic Commando won that campaign. But that shows that Hasbro still has all the bits and pieces to make it. Anyway, that's Weequay. He is one of the most significant characters in that whole skiff scene. He's the one that shoves Luke Skywalker in the back. So, most prominent skiff guard. And I think he should be back out there. Let me know in the comments which figure you think should be back out there. And anyway, that's it for now. Middle-aged Kiwi man collecting Star Wars figures. Ka kite.